Ohio man has been charged with aggravated after police say he's a sheriff's deputy with a car.
So before you even judge that man, put yourself in his shoes. Somebody have your kid, what you gonna do? Nothing?
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is a video of the Rodney Hinton case that is going on and people are talking about it. So if you don't know what's going on, there's this case going on in Ohio. Please correct me if I'm wrong with the names and all that, please. Okay, please. And it's a case of a father that experienced a loss for his child killed by the police, running through a police officer that was directing traffic. So what happened is that his son, I think it's Ryan Hinton, if I'm not, I think Ryan Hinton was being chased by police. Apparently there was a stolen car reported, and when the police spotted the stolen car, the son and three other black boys were in the car, and when the police saw them, it was a police chase, and they were chasing them, running and all that. And on the process of that, the son was shot dead. But when this was reported at the police station, like documentation, the policeman said that the boy pointed a gun at them, and that was how he was pum, and that's why they unalived him. But after the whole case went, when the family and the parents decided to see the body cam of what happened, and it was being shown that what they said happened, that was not what happened. It was yes, the boy was running, the boy was in the car, but the boy never pointed the gun at the police. The policeman just shot him and he died. And this did not sit well with the father. The father was distraught. On his way leaving the police station, the father ran straight into a police officer that was on the road directing traffic, and the police officer died. And this has struck entire outrage conversation going on of the father did what he has to do. He did it out of rage. He was angry. He knows that the system is going to fail him. And this is how a lot of black young boys have been unalived unjustly by police officer, by white police officer, with nothing being done to them. And probably that is why the father took matters into his hand to do what he did. But also, the father was also in court, which was something that was very interesting, that even got people even more triggered. But it was the fact that when he was in court to arrange his bond, the amount of police officers that was in that courtroom didn't even allow space for civilians or his family members to be there. And also, with this being on the news and all that, some people are reaching out for support, to support Ronnie and his family, to help him and all that. And they created a GoFundMe account, but the GoFundMe account has been taken down at the moment now. And they're making other source for it, but yeah, that's what is happening. So anyway, guys, we'll go check out people's response to this story, okay? And let me know if you've heard about the story. What are your thoughts about the story? So go down and share your thoughts. So let's go check out people's thoughts, and then we'll come back and talk more.
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to break, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
An Ohio man has been charged with aggravated after police say he's a sheriff's deputy with a car. Prosecutors say the case is linked to another the previous day.
This is a most unusual case.
On Thursday, a Cincinnati police officer fatally shot an armed 18-year-old as he ran from what police described as a stolen car. Authorities say Ryan Hinton was one of 4 men who were fleeing after officers found them in the car. An officer says it appeared to him that Hinton pointed at him, but the officer's body camera footage does not clearly capture the moment. The officer who shot Hinton has not been publicly named. Police said they recovered a they say Hinton had been carrying. It had not been fired, according to the Cincinnati police chief.
Ryan was a sweet, gentle giant. We as black people, we don't deserve it just because we're running away from the police.
Being in a stolen car, we're in Ohio, you know, so you can open carry in Ohio. So that's not.
The next day, his father, Rodney Hinton Jr., became distraught while watching police body camera footage of his family attorney told the Cincinnati Enquirer. Hours later, prosecutors allege Hinton purposefully long-serving Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson as he was directing traffic at a commencement.
I don't think he was a cop. I think he was not in his right mind. And I think he should be treated like any other mentally ill person that commits a crime under the auspices, control, and authority of a mental defect in a condition. That's what we have in this case.
When you have stood at the vigils and sat at the funerals of victims of police violence like I have, you understand the righteous anger of Rodney Hinton Jr. You understand why that man decided that he would take justice into his own hands instead of spending the next 4, 5, 6 years of his life in the courtroom having the system deny him of the justice that he so desperately longs for. I knew the day would come eventually that someone would decide that they're not going to wait for the system to fail them, and they are going to say eye for an eye. You took one of mine and I'm going to take one of yours, just like many of us would do for our own. And all those piggies standing in that courtroom trying to look intimidating, to me, I see through it. I know what they are. They are terrified because they felt like after all this time, they're supposed to be able to hunt us and we are never supposed to be able to strike back. And so they feel shaken to their core that someone broke the cycle and fought back. And so they're all piling up. They're trying to show strength in numbers and intimidate future victims' families from striking back at them. I want so badly to go back home to Cincinnati and show this family my support. Keep your head held high, Rodney Hinton Jr.
That man went to court with 30 deputies staring him down, and he stared right back talking that ish. I don't know if white America is seeing a pattern here, right? Carmelo poking that white boy that bullied him. This black man, police officer, because one of them police officers, his son, who was unarmed. Y'all not seeing what's happening here? We're tired. We're tired. You guys claim that 13% of this population makes up 50% of the crime. Okay, then I guess we're gonna make sure that 50% of that crime goes to good use, because that's where we at. Y'all keep playing on our top for the past 400 years, bro. And I think black people holistically has had enough. Has had enough. I have 4, soon to be 5 beautiful children. 3 biological, 1 stepson, and 1 baby on the way. If any one of them got by the police, there's no telling what I would be capable of in that moment. There's no telling what I would be capable of doing, period. So before you even judge that man, put yourself in his shoes. Somebody kid, what you gonna do? Nothing? You're gonna sit and what? Pray? Especially if that's the only thing that was keeping you from being insane? No. You lose your child and you have nothing else left in this world? But what would you do? Okay then.
Pinch me and fart on my leg, but what you're not going to do is tell me that this wasn't an organized gang that was allowed to do a demonstration in a U.S. courtroom. And you can tell me that the sky is purple or green, but what you're not going to tell me is that this wasn't a move of white supremacy at its best. Then the amount of hate that was ushered in by so-called government officials is a mark of shame on our country. Embarrassing. And I know many are going to say, they were there to support. They were there to support. You can support without giving somebody a death stare. And I'm pretty sure in the back of their mind, they feel like they're doing something righteously. But what they don't realize is those death stares only proves what people of color have been feeling forever coming from you all. And for that reason, we stand with this father. Until you guys really truly get it, stuff like this is going to continue to happen, but we're going to stand with ours.
What Rodney Hinton did was amazing, and I love the fact that he ran over a random deputy and not the deputy that took his son's life, because now it's going to build accountability. When pigs sit back and see somebody do something horrible to a random person, it's going to make them now second guess, okay, how could this affect my life if they take this person's life? And we need that type of accountability, and we need more aggressive action like this, because the peaceful protest hasn't worked in my lifetime. They laugh at it, they record it, they agitate us to make it worse. They just come bother us because it doesn't work. They think it's a joke. But when you start affecting people and taking lives, then it makes them scared. It makes them second guess things. Like with this Rodney Hinton situation, like with the guy, the healthcare CEO. You just have to attack them. I don't know how long they expect oppressed people just to sit and just, okay, hopefully we can get this law passed. Hopefully this president cares about us. Hopefully this congressman cares about us. It doesn't work. Oppressed people are always told to be peaceful, while the oppressors are the most aggressive, bullying, hateful people in the world. So shout out to Rodney Hinton. Thank you.
So they took down Rodney Hinton Jr.'s GoFundMe. They pulled up 50 deep to his bond hearing to intimidate him and eliminate actual peer support. They also kicked the brother out of the courtroom during the hearing simply for saying he wants to see his brother and offer him moral support as he goes through this trying time of losing a child to senseless police violence. I want us to understand that they're about to give this man the Luigi Mangione treatment. It goes further than just intimidating the Hinton family and the city of Cincinnati into thinking this is unacceptable behavior. They want us all to get the message that this is what happens when you retaliate against the state that oppresses you. And I'm sorry to tell y'all bootlickers this, but that ship has sailed. Majority of us have peeped the pattern of no accountability for anybody but working class people, and we're sick of it. Power to Rodney Hinton Jr. 12 and anybody else who wants to support them. Let's take care of our own.
Rodney Hinton Jr.'s dad is why I try to explain to people, especially like the law-abiding citizen type, that they are wrong. There are cases, multiple cases, especially in the case of a father who actually saw video of how his son passed, who heard a story that was proven false, and then saw the proof, where the only justifiable action is as such. And I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, gay, straight. I don't care if you're alien. There is a such thing as a justifiable crash out. This is one of those things. And the unfortunate reality is, in a case like this, look, they're not going to tell you the name of the person who actually did it, right? You're not going to be able to get your hands on that person. So you know what's going to happen now? In order for you to even live with yourself, you got to get somebody. The evil world we live in. But as a man, it's some stuff. It's some stuff, bro.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
So that was Rodney Hinton Jr. at the courthouse in Cincinnati, Ohio, after he drove his vehicle into a sheriff that was directing traffic. Now, he did that in retaliation to the day prior where his son was shot by a police officer in a chase for a stolen car. Now, police said that his son pointed a pew-pew at them. Body cam footage showed that that was not the case. It's a lot to talk about in this situation. Because on one end, some will say, well, he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with, which I agree. And it don't always be the YNs. It be a lot of these kids, these black boys who want to try to fit in. That boy come from a good family. His father worked for the state, married, good upbringing in a nice household, and he choose to want to ride with his partners and steal cars. Like, does it, you know what I'm saying? Play football, had a bright future, and you put yourself in that type of situation. And it just go to my point when I'm talking about these kids, is these kids, especially these young boys, young black boys, they be doing what they want to do. We make all these excuses and they do what they want to do, whether they have a good upbringing, a father in the household, they do what they want to do. But then I also understand the father going out and doing an eye for an eye. Because with these police, the white police in these black neighborhoods and shit like that, my partner, my best friend, a police officer out there in Atlanta in the cab, and he be out there fighting Joker and his henchmen every day. He go at it with the YNs every day. They pull pistols and stuff, and him and his fellow black officers still find a way to de-escalate and get home safely and still do their jobs without taking the life of these kids. So they do this shit every day. And, you know, it ain't like that. They first instinct is not to try to take down these little young boys. They effectively police their community how they supposed to. And white police officers do the same in their neighborhoods with their people too. So I understand. But one thing I will say
is bullshit in this situation is the fact that they let all them police officers in the courtroom. Because now it's like, how is that man supposed to get a fair trial? How is that man, like, that is intimidation. Like, if that's just crazy that they allowed that to happen. And if something was to happen to that man while he's in custody, like, it's just wild how, bro. But I say, Ohio been standing 10. With Cincinnati, they been standing on 10, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when them racists, pulled out them KKK members and shit, and wasn't it Ohio in that area, around that area where them black folk pulled up and said, "Get on"? I don't know what's in the water up there, but they some real ones.
You can only poke a bear but so many times before that bear wakes up. People are calling what Rodney Hinton Jr. did an eye for an eye. I disagree severely. This was not an eye for an eye. This was an eye for a fingernail. This is not an equivalent of a loss by any means. Sure, Mr. Hinton did what he did in retaliation to what happened to his son, but you don't think that years and years of watching Black lives be taken unfairly, unjustly so at the hands of a cop didn't play a role? You think years and years of watching the victims of police brutality's families do the right thing and let the court settle it, all to be let down, didn't play a role in his choice? You think years and years of watching loved ones from the heartbreak of the loss of their loved ones at the hands of cops did not play a role in why he did what he did? You are sadly mistaken. And to expect Black people especially to feel bad for this one cop, the scoreboard is so unbalanced. You'll have to excuse us if we don't. Like, the fact that Mr. Hinton is one of the first, if not the first, to retaliate in this way says a lot. You think Tamir Rice's parents didn't want to retaliate in the same way? Mike Brown's parents? Trayvon Martin's parents? Sonia Massey's parents and family? Sandra Bland's parents? I could go on. Breonna Taylor's parents and family? George Floyd's parents and family? You think Philando Castile? I unfortunately could go on. You think their parents didn't want to do the same thing? And I don't want to hear anything about what his son was doing to warrant being. It wasn't a reason. Stealing a car? Stealing a car when we watched a white boy, folks in a church, and walk out, be escorted out, and taken to Burger King? Who gives up?
True.
Eye for an eye, my ass. This is eye for a fingernail. Because that one cop's life being lost will never compare to the dozens, if not hundreds, of Black lives we've lost by them same folks in them same suits and badges. You can only poke a bear, but so many times before that bear wakes up. You can only so many Black people and have the justice system fail us and watch their family members die from the heartbreak before somebody takes matters into their own hands. And I'll tell you this much, watching Rodney Hinton Jr. walk by all those cops, head held high, maintaining eye contact, not flinching at all those cops in that courtroom, gave me the exact same feeling of watching Smoke the Klan in Sinners. Hey, that's all I can say.
Please go down in the comment section, share your thought. I really love to know you guys' take as always here on this conversation. And I know this conversation is very diverse because some people are saying that what was the son doing in the stolen car? That was a crime. they ran away from the police, why some people are justifying the father unaliving the police officer. So go down in the comment section, share your thought. Love to know what you think. But as always, keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we'll do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thought. Okay. For me, it is it's just so, what's the word? I'm looking for a particular word, but my brain is not picking it up right now. But I understand the conversation, people talking about, oh, what was the boy doing with people that went to steal cars and all that, oh, they stole a car and then the police officer. But what they are not getting is that nobody has the right. First of all, if this was to be a group of white kids, it won't be talking about unaliving, like, oh, like the police officer, no. So as much as we want to condemn what the boy did, which nobody's saying is right, nobody's saying, oh, like, what was he doing on the stolen car? But that to say that does not warrant him being killed. And even the police officer, they lied because they know it does not warrant him being killed. The boy did not point a gun at them. He only ran away from them, and they lied about it. And you can only imagine when you find out that this is how your child is being killed. To know that it's the same pattern that we've been talking a lot about Black Lives Matter, how Black lives have been lost like that by the system, and yet nothing has been done, nobody's been held accountable. It now makes the justification of what the father did. Because there's so much, when there's a pattern going on in the system of how Black kids, like his son, being killed, and yet there will be no justice. The cop that killed the Black person, or the Black child, who goes scot-free, nothing will be done. You will go on court case for years and yet nothing will be done. Worst case scenario, they will say dismissal. And I feel like it's because there's not been consequences in the police department, like, okay, them being scared of their own life. Not being fired, not being in jail, but the fact that they know that their life too can be taken. I feel like that has not really clicked, to know that there's serious consequences to some certain action. But I feel like when they know, they will think twice before, like, this thing, it shouldn't come back and bite one of us or bite one of my people or something. But because they know they can get away with it, it's something that for years now has continued in the system. You can't expect to do something and then try to control how the other person reacts. The father reacts the way he wants to react, the way he feels justified, the way and you could clearly see that his head is up by, like, he's not scared of what is coming to him or whatever you people want to do to him. And that's because, and another thing that people don't understand, when somebody doesn't have anything to lose anymore, those are the most terrible, those are the most scary people you should be scared of. When somebody does not have anything to lose anymore, when probably his son is the only thing that is keeping him going, and then you people took, and then he knows that the system is going to F him. He knows how the system, he knows the pattern of the system. We'll all go protest and say, oh, Black Lives Matter, call the son name, put it on t-shirt and all that, and kumbaya. This man knows that. And I feel like the time we're living in now is a time where people are tired. People are tired. You saw the healthcare one, the air care CEO one. People are tired. And that's the thing these so-called people in power, elite, they don't understand. That there's so much you can do to people now. There's so much you can do to Black people now that people will not react. The truth is that we already have the conversation. We already know this thing. We already know the pattern. We already know the outcome of things. So now it's not left for people to, okay, this outcome, can I live with it? And if they can't live with it, whatever they choose to do with it, like, who are we? Who are we? Like, it's just so sad that 2025 was having this conversation of a Black child being killed, when a crime is a crime. Treat him as a criminal. Get him arrested. Disarm him. De-escalate the situation. Arrest him. Try him to court for him to go to jail for stealing the car. Do that. Not kill him. Not kill him. He does not deserve to die. But this is just like, I just hope, because the entire black community is really coming strong for the father and really supporting the father. And you can clearly see the clicked in the police, the way they came into courtroom, or filling the entire courtroom for nobody to come in. You could see that it's a it's almost like a fraternity at this point, thinking that that's going to make him weak, or that's going to make him shrink and all that. But clearly you can see. But I just hope nothing happens to him in jail, though. That's another thing. I just hope nothing happens to him, and I hope he gets a fair try of what happened. And yeah, let me know what you think about this. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and me. Okay, so go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.